Welcome to this week's TESPN podcast. We are in the heart of the spring season, and a lot of teams having a lot of success in Titan athletics. Golf team, number one in the state right now. In just a minute, we're going to talk to senior golfer Cole Pollard. But also softball's on an incredible winning streak. In their last 4 games, 57 runs scored, 0 runs given up. Just incredible numbers they're putting up, and a number 3 state ranking. Girls soccer ranked 6th in the state. Had a heartbreaking 1-0 loss to Collegiate earlier this week, but really playing well and excited for what's to come. And then we've also got baseball is just in the top 10, I believe tied for number 9 in the state. Girls lacrosse had a really exciting battle with St. Catherine's yesterday. Lost in a very close one, but that was a team that the last couple of years had beaten them pretty handily. So that's on the upward trajectory. Track's been putting up great numbers just like they did in the winter. So a lot to be excited about right now in Titan sports. But golf is the team that is just crushing it right now. And we're fortunate to be joined by one of the golf captains, Cole Pollard. And Cole, I guess first thing I would ask you is just what's been the key? I know last year there were a lot of high expectations, and it was a good season, but maybe didn't quite live up to what you were hoping. And of course, the big goals are still to come. But what would you say has been the key that this year you all seem to be doing even a little bit better than last year?
Yeah, I think the key to this year is that last year we were a pretty young team. There were no seniors, so this year we have everybody back. We have a new addition, 8th grader Blake Cawthor, who's he's really solid and he's made a bunch of big impacts to the team. But I think the part of the reason why we're doing so well this year is because we finished, I guess you'd say, not how we wanted. So we got a little bit of a chip on our shoulder going into this year.
I mean, I wanted to ask you, just like we know how golf is more of an independent sport. Can you just describe like the familyhood of the golf team? You all seem really close, so you could just describe what that means to you.
Yeah, so for me personally, I like team golf much better than like normal independent junior golf stuff like that I play in the summer, because I mean, just like the team feel of it, team chemistry. You know, you're playing with your buddies. It's not just your round isn't just all on you. You know, it's you have to still play well for the team. So I think that adds a different aspect to it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, I mean, your team also is kind of unique in terms of you've got, you know, yourself as a senior, as well as several other really strong seniors like Jack Hoyle and Garrett Kula. But then you just mentioned you have an 8th grader who's been scoring in some matches for you. And then you also have a female player in Haley McPeak who's also scored in several matches. So you're one of the only sports that has 8th grade through 12th grade. Of course, it's mostly boys, but also girls with not only Haley but Addison Wynn out there. So how do you as a captain lead a team that has like such a diverse group in age as well as gender?
Yeah, the dynamics are definitely interesting about our team because we have 3 senior captains, Jack, Garrett, and myself. And then we have Haley, who's a junior, and then Grady, sophomore, Blake, 8th grader. And those are just some of the names. I mean, there are multiple other great golfers on the team, but just to point out like the disparity in different ages and all that, I think that's kind of what makes us all come together is like everybody's a little different. And
is there anything that you specifically do, like as a captain, to try and facilitate those team relationships?
Yeah, definitely here or there, like showing up to practice and just making sure like you interact with everybody and check up on like how they're doing, how they're feeling about their game, and where their head's at, and talking to the coaches about their thoughts too on different players and their game plan. Just that's sort of what I do.
I kind of want a little fun question. Like, if you had to go back, if you've only on the team 2 years or something like that, and what is your favorite like memory, like as a Trinity golf? What was your favorite memory? Like, go to?
Favorite memory. I guess off the top of my head, I'd probably just say beating Woodbury for the first time. Yeah. Pretty cool fun fact is that since I've been at Trinity, we haven't lost a home match at all.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool. And we're keeping it going this year. So, yeah, I'd say probably that because they were they were kind of our Achilles heel. We hadn't been able to beat them. Our coach, Andy Bender, hadn't beaten them like his whole, I think, 9 years or so. So that was his first win against them. So I thought that's probably my favorite.
Well, that home winning streak is something I think you should take a lot of pride in. I know when I played basketball at Trinity back in the 90s, this started when I was here, and it lasted even beyond when I finished. But we had a 47-game home winning streak that like everyone just took so much pride in, just like we don't lose at home. And then when I was coaching basketball, we had I think a 31-game home winning streak around between like 2016 to 2019 or so. So like, yeah, you got to make sure you defend that home turf. And in light of that, it's a nice segue into my next question, which is you all play your home matches at Salisbury, and obviously you don't get the big crowds we get at a football or basketball game. But if people are watching this and hear about this great team we have and want to come out and support, like, how do you recommend fans, like, do you follow a group? Do you like post up at the ninth hole? Like, what would you tell a spectator who wants to go check out Trinity Golf?
Yeah, so basically how like the matches are set up, there's two, if it's not a tri match like involving 3 schools, normally it's a one school versus another. There's 2 players from each school in each group, and there's 4 groups. So you pick a group. I'd say you probably just pick a group to follow and follow them for a couple holes. And if you want to stay back and wait for the group from behind to catch up, watch them too. But yeah, golf is definitely an interesting sport to spectate. There's no stands or anything like that. But yeah, everybody is welcome, and we'd love it for people to start coming out because we're rolling right now.
Yeah, well, let's put that on your calendars. Check out the golf schedule and try and get out and see those guys play. You got any other questions for Cole?
Nah, I got them out.
All right, Cole, let's wrap this up really quick with a lightning round. I'm just going to ask you a handful of quick questions, get your quick answers. I don't even know yet what I'm going to ask you. It's just as it pops in my head. So do you have like a pregame or pre-match like song or playlist that you listen to get in the right headspace? And if so, what is it?
Yeah, I'd say I mix it between like southern rock and like rap. I'd say, classic Freebird. Just
That's your go-to pregame song is Freebird?
Just
Okay.
skip to the guitar part.
That is a lot different than some of our other guests. What is your favorite restaurant to go to?
Favorite restaurant? That's a tricky one. I'd say after matches, probably B-Dubs or Zaxby's. And I've found out recently that other than the wings at B-Dubs, their food is pretty solid.
If you could live in anywhere in the United States, like where would it be your dream spot to live?
I'd say maybe like Georgia or something like that. You like, because you experience sort of all the seasons and everything, but it's typically a little bit warmer than here.
It's got the Masters.
Yeah. Have you ever hit a hole-in-one?
I have. I was probably around 11. It was like 85 yards with an 8-iron. I couldn't see it go in because there was some tall grass in front. So I walked up and I thought my ball rolled back in the water, but my friend saw it in, jumped up, gave me a hug, got my
That's awesome.
Got my slide phone, called my dad. And I was, he was hype.
And last question, what's the best piece of advice you've gotten from a coach or a mentor, or maybe even read in a book about golf? Or just the best advice you could give to a younger golfer?
I'd probably say that if you go into playing golf expecting it all to go like well, like you're just wrong. It is a very like up and down, like emotionally, physically. It's like there's no other sport like it. Maybe like tennis, because it's that's also by yourself. But it's all on yourself, so you just have to be able to give yourself grace and just move on when you play bad and still stay confident.
I like that, and I think giving yourself grace is not just good advice for golf, but it's actually really good advice for life. And I think in general, as people, we're often too hard on ourselves. So, but you're right. Golf is the only sport like you're really not playing against an opponent. You're playing against the course and kind of yourself. So, well, Cole, thanks so much for your insight and for joining us this week. Really great interview. And I know you're doing an incredible job leading this team. I've talked a lot with Coach Weiler, and he's been so impressed with your leadership and maturity. And go get that ring, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no,
Appreciate you.
That's fine.